Welcome. This is Chip Roasting.
I'm Wally.
I am somebody. I'm Brennan. I'm not Brennan. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. We're roasting some chips. Hello, and welcome back to another
Hello.
amazing episode of Two Guys Talk About Stuff.
That is the
I
name of the show.
am one of the guys. That is the other one of the
But
guys whose voice you just
he
heard.
is explicitly not a pizza.
Yes, I
He's a
am
guy.
not a pizza. I just want to make that very clear. I've been mistaken for a pizza before. Someone's like, come to me on the streets, like, "Hey, are you a pizza?" And I have to say, "What are you talking about?" So
You
I
have
don't
to
want that
say
to
how
happen
rude.
again. Who knows? Uh, I I don't have an end for that joke. I don't have an end for that. Anyway, I'm not a pizza. But yeah, we're just two not pizzas hosting a podcast. That
Yep.
podcast, as I'm sure you know, is called Chip Roasting.
Yep. We're two non-pizzas, chip roasting chips.
Yep. We're not
Um.
roasting pizzas. We are air frying pizzas, but we're roasting chips.
Yep. Speaking of which, I have a new video on my channel where I make my own pizza. And Brennan, by the time
Yes.
this is uploaded, may or may not have his on there on his
Sweet.
channel. We don't know.
Oh,
He has so much content going up at all times. So
we know we are podcasters now because I have a liquid death can, and apparently
not
I've seen that
sponsored.
only podcasters drink those. So
You're right.
oops.
There we go.
I have somehow morphed into the next stage of evolution, which is actually a de-evolution of the human race. It's like, you know, like the monkeys evolving, they just inserted podcasters like right before the
Before human.
like the human one. Yeah.
Well, now you can put it on your resume because of the liquid death, you are officially a resume podcaster. I'm not gonna do it because I want a job. But yeah, so we have a lot to talk about. Star Wars Celebration is going on, which
Oh yeah.
led to a lot of news. And I think it's still going on right now. I've seen some interviews, like I've watched some of the live stream. It's been cool. I was actually on when Hayden Christensen said, "This is where the fun begins." Like I was watching it live when he said that, and I flipped out naturally.
And did the fun actually begin?
Yes. Oh, for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So they were talking about Kenobi and
fun.
that, but
this is definitely
we'll
going to be a Star Wars focused podcast.
Very,
I'm not sure if there's any
heavy.
news. I don't know if there's any other news of other stuff.
There's
a lot of Star Wars news. Yeah.
there was. But I want to start off first with this really weird piece of news.
Yeah.
So this year, Winnie the Pooh became
public domain.
became like not free reign, but it became public domain.
Yep.
And so these people came together and they made a Winnie the Pooh slasher film.
I saw that and I was like, what?
Basically, the premise
we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah, the premise is Pooh and Piglet are angry at Christopher Robin for leaving them without food, so they go on a murder spree.
Well, I mean, as long as they have a valid reason.
That's terrible, Brennan. That's jeez. We do not condone the murder of people for not having food.
Yeah, no, we don't. That is bad. I'm assuming that they are not supposed to be the good guys of that movie.
Well, who really are the good guys of slasher films? Let's be honest. There are no good guys.
Not Winnie the Pooh,
killing
as
people.
it turns out.
It's just the people killing people and then the people running from those people. Because the slashers, they always die at the end, but they never actually die because they always come back.
So do we think Winnie the Pooh will die?
Yeah, but he'll be resurrected by Piglet.
Interesting.
As things
go.
Or Christopher Robin. Maybe Christopher Robin won't know about the spree.
It's just going to be a strange experience here.
That's putting it lightly.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yes.
See, what in someone's mind goes, Winnie the Pooh is like public domain now, so let's make a slasher film. It just doesn't make any sense.
Someone had been waiting for decades.
They've had the script ready.
Yeah. Someone read Winnie the Pooh as a bedtime story as a child and was like, I want to see this bear stab somebody. And has been waiting decades So they had the script prepared. As soon as it became public domain, they were like, "Now is my time."
That was the time, yeah.
Yeah. I have seen. There are actually, there's not a whole lot of details out, but there are two actors who are kind of slated as like competing for the role of
Oh, it's filmed already.
Winnie the Pooh. No. See, because if it's filmed already, then I can't make the joke that I'm trying to make.
Oh, okay.
So
then it's not filmed already.
For the sake of my joke, it is not filmed.
Okay.
Well, now even as it's a joke, I'll skip to the punchline. Mark Hamill, Chris Pratt.
There you go. You know what? I should have waited. I should have seen because that was actually pretty good.
Thanks.
Anyway, so let's jump into Marvel news, like news that's relevant to this podcast.
Yeah.
Disney Plus UK accidentally leaked a release date for She-Hulk, and then like a day later, we got a trailer for She-Hulk, and an official release date August 17th.
Yeah, we have not done an episode of this podcast since the She-Hulk trailer dropped, so we talk about that one as well, because that one was a ride. That one was an experience.
Yeah, I thought. Are you excited for the show? After the trailer, anyway.
I don't know. I'm kind of less excited for the show now. I'm kind of a little bit upset that out of all of the Marvel series, this is the one that gets 9 episodes.
Oh, like I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, because like every other series is confirmed 6, like around She-Hulk, after She-Hulk, but She-Hulk is receiving 9, just like WandaVision. I'm glad that there are shows receiving 9, but it's like, why She-Hulk out of all of them?
So do you think it's gonna be like a sitcom-esque thing then, instead of a? It
looks like more like a sitcom, which I don't know how I feel about that. Like it's gonna be interesting. Like I am glad that, they're taking this approach where they're tackling like multiple styles, not just everything in the same kind of style. Right. But it just kind of seemed like not what I was expecting for She-Hulk, and like the CGI kind of looked a little bit off. It looked like.
Yeah, I mean they have 3 months till the show starts, though, so they'll fix it hopefully. Yeah. But
I don't know. It's just. I'm not like I'll have to wait till we get more information of like what the focus of the show will be. There's a lot that I'm excited about. I'm excited to see Abomination hopefully get more of his story. But it just something seemed off. It just
right.
I wish I could put into words kind of what it was. It just I don't know. Something's bugging me like about the show ever since I saw the trailer, and I've watched a couple times. And I just can't put my finger on
what it is. Yeah.
What it is. Like every other Marvel kind of early trailer I've been excited about. Like, I mean, we had Moon Knight that looked fantastic. Mm-hmm. We had Miss Marvel that looked fantastic. The Hawkeye initial thing looked fantastic. This one just kind of gave me a weirder vibe.
Right.
Which I hope it'll be good, because it's supposed to tie together a lot of stuff, like what's going on with the Hulk, what's going on with Abomination, what's going on just all around.
Really, everything that has to deal with the Hulk, really, because like we had the one movie with a different actor, and that's it, really, since in terms of just focusing on the Hulk.
Yeah. I guess what it might be is like. Oh, I just lost it. I just had it and I just lost it. Rats.
What did you think about adding the attorney at law to the title?
That made me think of Community season 5, episode 1, where what was it? Where Jeff's old law partner walked in and was like, "Jeff Winger, loser at law." I think kind of what it is like just the superhero shows where it's like a superhero going on kind of like there's like a mission, and like they're not in like the public eye. I think just the amount that like She-Hulk is in like the public eye, that just kind of bothers me.
Okay, I see.
Like it just it looks more. I don't know. I still can't put it into words, but like, yeah, it's just she's just out around the town. She's not
doing the typical superhero thing.
She's out around town. She's showing up in events, like, as like the green version of
Yeah.
of herself, and it's like that's kind of the focus, and not like her. I don't know. Like obviously, all of this could be horribly wrong. I just need more context of the show. It's just not what I expected. It could still be great. I've been wrong about shows before. Obviously, take my opinion. Hopefully, everyone who's listening, it takes both of our opinions with a grain of salt, because what we say is so inconsequential here most times. It's just, I don't know. I was expecting something. Also, the lawyer thing. I think that's also something I was expecting. Where like I was expecting the lawyer part to be more of a focus, and there were kind of some background elements, but it seemed very downplayed in the trailer. It just seemed her out around the town, having fun, doing stuff,
it almost
being all
seemed
quirky.
like
and I was like, that's cool, but it's not what I was expecting. And I think Marvel's done a lot of that recently, which is fine. I'll just have to say, I just need more information.
It almost seemed like they made like the lawyer thing was a focus, but like it wasn't the main one. It was like she like had like the show's gonna focus on her trying to figure out how to live with being a green, big, muscular person.
Yeah, except for she also wasn't that big or muscular from what
which a lot of people are mad about.
Yeah,
which apparently the Marvel executives are like, don't make her muscular. Like, why? That's like the point of She-Hulk.
Yeah, and like I was seeing all of these memes online where it's like, oh, in like fantasy worlds where you have like a male ogre or like a male like orc or like whatever, it's just all these like buff things with like different colored skin, and for it's like women, it's like the exact same slender body type, but just like the skin dyed like different colors, and that's kind of what She-Hulk looked like, and it's like and it just I don't know, it just seems like a weird. It just like some weird choices were made. It could still be great. I hope that I am wrong.
And they have 3 months to change it. So
yeah. I'm looking forward to it still as a whole, but it's just, it's kind of, that line where I'm like, I hope Marvel. I just want it to be a bit grittier and less comedic. Almost. I feel like with like Moon Knight, Marvel showed that they could kind of step back to like the gritty side, and this just seemed like it didn't have any of that at all.
But neither does Miss Marvel, though.
But I mean, it looks like Miss Marvel looks like it has more stakes. Like I think that's might also be I can't find the stakes in She-Hulk. Miss Marvel looks really interesting, and the reviews for that are in now. Like it had some
early
screening or whatever, and it looks like the reviews for that are great. I'm looking forward to that ever since I saw like the first glimpse. Yeah, so I'm excited for that. That's 2 weeks. Let's go, Miss Marvel. Even though
we're gonna do like another pod. We're gonna have to do an extra podcast or something.
Yeah, she does not have her powers from the comic book, so I'm not sure how that'll turn out. That seems to be
that part doesn't bother me. The reason why she doesn't
for the screenings. Yeah, that seems to be a complaint or something from the screenings too, where like her powers just seem to be kind of all over the place, is what I've heard. But like that could be great.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me. It's the reason they gave as to why they changed them is weird.
Yeah,
but
especially
now that we have an Inhuman in the.
I mean,
because in the comic she's Inhuman.
Oh,
but now that we have one in the MCU, like in not in that universe, but like that they could have like I don't know.
Weird. Whatever. Anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on Marvel because we have a lot. Bigger things.
That was our first piece of news.
Yeah. Does Marvel have any other news as of right now?
There's a lot of Marvel news.
Wow. Okay.
We got our first look at Echo for the Marvel Twitter page.
Yeah.
We said for a 2023 release date, which is a lot earlier than I expected.
Yeah. It is interesting though. I don't know what direction that show will go either. That was kind of like a weird show where as Hawkeye was going on, I was like, oh, I see why Echo could need a show now. Yeah. And at the end of Hawkeye, where they killed off Kingpin, who's like the big focus in Echo's life, I'm like, well, now how will the Echo show work?
Well, that's got to be like, I mean, they got to be following that one comic book line where like she thinks she kills Kingpin.
I hope so.
Doesn't. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense, right? Because otherwise, that story's wrapped up. And of course, she has other villains, but like that's her main one, right?
And it seems weird to not have the main villain at all, like as a possibility for the show,
right?
Who knows?
In an update at Disney's Upfront 2022 event, Kevin Feige confirmed that Loki Season 2 will begin production in the next few weeks, and the entire cast from Season 1 will be returning.
Just get it going already. I want it to come back.
Almost a year, right? Since the first season?
You can't just give us 6 episodes and then just say, oh, it's coming back, but not. It's just
soon, yeah.
Marvel. Yeah. bugs me how Marvel is doing shows.
And we'll compare with the way Star Wars is doing it, and Star Wars is doing it way better.
Yes. Oh, Star Wars is doing shows a million times better. Absolutely.
Yeah. Variety tweeted that a Daredevil Disney Plus show is moving forward. Matt.
That's awesome.
Yep, Matt Carmen.
That is awesome.
This might get you down though. Matt Carmen and Chris Ord are attached to write and executively produce the show. The pair have previously worked on USA Network's Covert Affairs, NBC's Enemy Within, and the CW's Containment. It's the CW one that I'm saying, but maybe it's just their DC shows that are shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for that, and I've heard good things about the Covert Affairs.
Yeah.
So
all right.
I'm excited.
Daredevil, baby. Yeah, let's go. I honestly did not expect a show to move forward with him at all. So this is going to be really interesting.
Too, yeah.
I'm really. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And I saw somewhere online that like they had talked about like it's not quite a reboot, but it's not quite a continuation either. So I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means at all. But I'm excited to see.
Yeah, either way.
I hate it. I hate it because it probably, with like the slate of shows, it probably won't come out to like 2025, and it's like Marvel chill out. Just dial it back a little bit. I know we keep saying this on the podcast, or I keep saying it, and I don't know if like our tens of viewers appreciate hearing me say that all the time or not, but it kind of frustrates me. Just a little bit.
They're announcing all this stuff so far out. Of course, the pandemic affected a lot of it, because I saw someone say that like at this point in time, we would have already gotten, I think, most, if not all, of Phase 4, except maybe Fantastic Four, if the pandemic had never happened. But it did, unfortunately. That's just the way it is. But because they had announced all that stuff and stuff kept getting moved back, it's just becoming a little bit wonky, and they keep announcing more stuff.
Speaking of the Fantastic Four, how can they announce that, like confirm that is happening? Both that and Blade, how can they announce and confirm both of those and then announce like 100 million more things before looping back to any more information about that at all? That's so infuriating. Just Marvel, calm down. Just please just dial it back just a little bit, Marvel. I'm begging you.
But continuing on that Daredevil hype, Kristen Ritter and Mike Coulter, who played Jessica Jones and Luke Cage in the Netflix series, both posted pictures with each other on Instagram. And Coulter's caption said LC plus JJ equals big teaser. So we might be getting Luke Cage and Jessica Jones back.
That would be really interesting. Honestly.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see them in the She-Hulk show, or one of them, or something. Who knows? That would
be interesting. That would be.
I don't know
really
what ties they have to her, but
yeah,
they're all in New York.
Yeah, I don't know either. Now, honestly, instead of the Daredevil show, what I would have liked to see probably instead of that is a Defenders show. Honestly, if they just
a continuation or like just something like that,
yeah, if they pick back up on that, and that way you can kind of tie up Daredevil's arc a bit more in that show, and also continue with new characters and kind of just looping back to this other thing where you have to have all the focus on him. And I don't know how Disney Plus will handle that, because I feel like Daredevil worked super well on Netflix with how they tackled series. I'm not sure if it'll work the same way on Disney, because if we get like 6 episodes of Daredevil and they're like, oh yeah, you'll get 6 more in like 3 years, it's like, okay guys, just
and same with Jessica Jones and Luke Cage too. I mean,
yeah.
We'll see what happens with that. Yep. Moving on to things that are actually going to happen soon. We got the official trailer for Thor: Love and Thunder. Because we just got the teaser last episode, and now this episode.
Gore the God Butcher. We've finally seen more of him. He looks.
We saw Jane.
Weird, but he looks phenomenal. It looks like Jane will have a really solid focus in this movie, where like it kind of looked at her like she'll have some involvement, but it might not be towards whenever, and it looks like she'll be for like all 100% of the movie here.
Right. So I really like the trailer. I'm very excited for this movie. It's July it comes out.
Yeah. July 8th, I think. Let me check to see if that's on whatever day. Yep, July 8th.
Okay.
So that'll be fun. I'm very much looking forward to that. I'm also I have to reiterate, just I've hyped it up so much that like I am looking forward to the Daredevil series as well. Marvel's just getting on my nerves.
Yeah, when like I said, especially with the way Star Wars is handling things right now.
Star Wars is doing it so well. I keep selling these for Star Wars. I'm like, this is
We're almost there.
exciting. Star Wars is doing
We
it so
have
well. Marvel is not doing it well, in my opinion. My humble opinion, which all you
5
viewers,
more pieces of news before we get to Star Wars.
all of you viewers hop onto this podcast, of course, to hear all of our viewpoints and agree with them wholeheartedly. I don't recommend that, but that's why you're here. So I'm sharing my opinions, of course.
Exactly. Apparently, Namor the Submariner will have a new origin in the Black Panther 2. I don't remember anything past that. I just wrote it down and then I didn't write any details. So if you remember it, you can expand upon it. But
yeah, he's not from Atlantis now. They gave him a different backstory because they didn't want him to clash with Aquaman, which is, I don't know how that is for a reason, but like when they described his new backstory, I was like, that's actually kind of cool. Like I really like how his new backstory sounds. It looks like it'll give some more representation and all that, which Marvel's been doing good with for the most part here recently.
Yeah.
I mean, if they keep it up, like with Miss Marvel, hopefully they do that well. Looks like they're doing that well, which is awesome. But with Black Panther, and just continuing forward, hopefully it's solid. But I have high hopes for all this.
Because I remember probably about a year ago, if not more, they put out a casting call for indigenous people from Latin America, and I joked about being in the MCU.
Hey,
because I'm an indigenous and I'm from Latin America.
You were this close.
I know.
To being you're so this close to having the starring role in Black Panther 2. You're this close.
I know, but
sorry. Let me do it like that. Now it looks very far apart.
But yeah. So if I remember, so I wonder if it's something to do with that. Him being more like an indigenous American or something like that. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting. I'm excited.
Probably was. Yeah.
Set photos were leaked from the set of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 recently. I actually saw this. I sent it to you earlier.
Rocket Raccoon, baby.
And they're weird. They're weird pictures.
Yeah.
Pictures of a humanoid rabbit, chicken, and pig. But according to, this is just a theory, just from this TikTok page, from just an MCU page on TikTok. It seems as though the villain for Volume 3 will be the High Evolutionary, who's the reason why Rocket Raccoon is the way he is. So maybe it looks like we're gonna have like Rocket Raccoon origin story, with a focus on him, and I think that'd be pretty cool. Now to DC news.
DC.
The CW has greenlit a show called Gotham Knights, which follows Batman's son as he tries to figure out who murdered Batman. He'll be working with the Joker's daughter and a couple other Batman's villains' kids. The show makes no sense, and Damian Wayne is worse than Legends of Tomorrow.
Is that Damian Wayne?
No.
No, it is not.
No. Nope. Completely different.
Wow.
It sounds terrible. Let me be honest.
Okay.
I do not like this.
And which network is producing it? I missed
CW.
That. I was looking at. Oh, the CW is producing that?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Is it in the? Is it in the Arrowverse? Does it take place in the Arrowverse?
It didn't.
That's so bizarre. I'm
sure. I would imagine that make you mad, especially since they canceled Legends of Tomorrow.
If that idea was executed well, it's like, all right, okay, that could actually be good. But knowing it's by the CW, it'll not be good. They struck gold with the Legends of Tomorrow. After that, there's nothing good left.
Yeah, so I don't trust that show. It's gonna be weird. I don't like it at all. And then a few pods ago, I mentioned DC was making a Wonder Twins film. It's been canceled because it was looking at a $75 million budget, and the CEO of Warner Discovery wants all HBO Max movies to be under $35 million. So it got canceled.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Oh well, you didn't even know who the Wonder Twins were, so it doesn't really matter.
Nope.
All that much. And I know you're looking at this for the Gotham Knights show on your phone there. And then
I'm actually replying to a message. I'm so sorry. I don't usually do this on podcasts, but
no, you're good.
Something urgent has occurred, so
I will have to leave?
I'll half pay attention here, like I'm sure most of our listeners do. No, I don't have to leave. I just have to shoot off a quick response, and I'll be right back. But we can keep churning out the content here.
the news. Yeah. Ben
Yeah.
Affleck has been offered a $3 million contract to return to the DCEU for a Crisis for Infinite Earths adaptation. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to riff on this for a minute because I have no idea. I didn't look this up or anything. You sent this to me.
Yes, I did. I did send this to you.
Do you
I
know
finally get to
anything
contribute
more?
some news here.
Yeah.
Nope. I just know that. Oops, I must not talk for my microphone. Uh, I just know that like apparently Ben Affleck had said at one point that like he was done with the movies. Now they're offering him a lot of money to return, which kind of makes sense. I'm assuming they want to try to salvage something here. A Crisis on Infinite Earths could be the perfect thing to fix the DCEU, or it can make it a million times worse, and it'll probably make it a million times worse.
Yeah.
Crisis on an Infinite Earths, the Arrowverse had actually done that for their last big Crisis event.
Yeah.
And honestly, I did not like how they did it at all. A lot of actual DC fans have said like, oh yeah, it was fantastic. They did it perfectly. I say, oh, whoops. Okay. Maybe it was good, but I hated it. So it would be cool to see it done in the movies and see if I like that one. Especially if it loops back to anything from the Zack Snyder's cut thing where like the other arc, the Nightmare arc, I think is what it was called. I'm probably getting that horribly wrong.
Yeah.
But it would be cool to see that. It'd be really, really neat to see that. I would love a conclusion kind of that, even though I haven't really watched a whole lot of the movies. I don't necessarily have stake in them. It would just be cool to see that get resolved. Because honestly, as much as I hate to say it, Zack Snyder's Justice League was actually kind of good.
Well,
so
yeah, of course it was.
More
it had to be, right? If
that.
It wasn't good, it would be a disaster.
Yeah, no, because like it didn't exist. People were like, oh yeah, that cut existed the whole time, and then Warner Bros. Was telling us, no, it did not. He made that after all the stuff was like released, the whatever cut. But it was good. It was long. It was way too long. It should have been 2 movies. But it was good. And I wish that they had more like that, because every other DC movie has been like terrible. But if Crisis on Infinite Earths is good, that would be cool to see. They could easily crush the entire DCEU forever if they do it poorly, though. So we'll just have to see how things go. But yeah, Crisis on Infinite Earths is a cool idea. No, it's not. It's actually kind of dumb.
So let's get into it.
That's been the update corner for me. Oh, you actually missed one piece of news.
I missed a piece of news. Okay, before we get to Star Wars.
Yeah, sorry. I know everyone on the listening to this is like Star Wars, but sorry, I have to reel it back in one more time here. For Marvel,
not again. I thought I solved this problem.
What problem?
It came up again with the 40 minutes.
Oh no. Don't worry. We probably cover all of the Star Wars in 10 minutes, huh? It only took us 30 minutes to get through all of Marvel.
I know.
Let's say this one piece of Marvel news first, then we can probably restart. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know if we start a new meeting here. Marvel, the original director, I think, for Doctor Strange, has confirmed that, like, there's an interview that he did, and he said, yeah, when I was on, like, my plan, the original goal was to make the main villain of Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness
Nightmare.
Yeah, a Nightmare. It was 100% confirmed. But he said that when he was like, you know, working on it, the executives or the producers or whatever were very set on it being like a multiverse movie that looked like this, and that's why he stepped away, because he could not make the movie that he wanted to make.
Right.
He wanted to make like a very Doctor Strange focused movie, and the producers wanted to make more of what we had. So
it would have been better.
Yes. So like movie. All of the rumors and stuff from early on that Nightmare was going to be the villain, those were actually right, even though that is not what we got on screen. So I just wanted to toss out that, because that was cool. Oh, also, let me just add one more thing, since we're on this small countdown here, and then I have to re-scramble. We're gonna have to scramble to figure out what we're gonna do to talk about Star Wars stuff.
Because once you're scrambled, you can't be re-scrambled.
Yeah,
you are scrambled.
Yeah. We do not like to talk about current events here on this
Oh,
podcast
yeah.
at all for obvious reasons, and mostly because current events are always super depressing, especially all like the actual news stuff that's been
Yeah.
happening here recently. But one thing, because I made a comment, super long ago, I think we all talked about this, was like the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard thing and all that, because that tied into like a lot of
Yeah, I think
superhero stuff.
Briefly,
And now it has been on my timeline nonstop for the past 6 weeks, and I have to say, I don't apologize I ever gave an opinion about it at all, because I'm tired of just seeing everything about it online. I'm so exhausted
I don't care about it.
of all of that. So I just want to, because I know I'm giving it more content here now, but I just want to say that no opinion is valid, because there are just so many of them, and I hate seeing that on my timeline all the time. So when I remember, like, I gave an opinion on it like so far back, I'm like, just disregard that, because I hate contributing this. It should not be in the spotlight at all. I hate when stuff like this is like in the spotlight. So it just sucks.
It's a cover up at this time for other trials that are going on, but
yeah, it's I hate seeing it everywhere all the time.
Everywhere.
It's not necessarily like as much of a topical thing now because it's dying down, but as soon as I kept seeing it like over and over and over and over, and so many memes, everyone just think that they have to toss out an opinion on it. Like, I'm like, I just have to say here, if I don't remember what I said earlier, but I retract
either,
I retract everything, because I just don't want there to be any more like anyone else talking about this. So I just have to say, even though I'm in doing so, I'm talking about it, which I hate. It just drove me crazy on my timeline. And then unfortunately it was replaced with even worse news the news stuff. But hopefully, if you're surrounded by that, you can use this as a break, because now we're getting into Star Wars stuff when we return, or do whatever, because our meeting on Zoom is running out. So I apologize to you. It won't be anything for you
nothing
at all, but it'll be a lot of work for us. So
especially
we will see you. We'll see you in a moment.
In a second, literally.
Yes.
And we're back.
Star Wars time.
All right, so Star Wars. The Mandalorian season 3 has been announced to be coming in February of 2023. They apparently saw a trailer, but we are not allowed to watch it yet.
I did see the trailer.
Oh, you watched the leak footage?
Yes. I watched the leak footage just because I wanted to see what it was about. The only thing I could find was super distorted, because the guy got copyright struck several times by Disney. Right. So he had to like mess with the audio so much and the visual, but I made out enough of it, and it looks cool.
Yeah,
they are on Mandalore. You've probably seen that, or maybe you hadn't seen that.
No, I haven't seen it.
No, but like, they are on Mandalore, and it looks
so happy.
It looks so cool. It was actually a very brief shot of a Bo-Katan just sitting so depressed, like on the Mandalorian throne.
Wow.
So it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be really interesting. Like, the theme of the trailer seemed to be that the Mandalorian wanted to get to Mandalore to bathe in the water of the mines, because of what happened in the Book of Boba Fett. So we are like, because I believe I made that prediction earlier when that episode aired, but it is 100% confirmed that is what that will be. So that is awesome. It looks great.
And I'm not even the most excited for that. Like, there's so many things coming. One of those was Andor, which, after not getting a lick of anything, we got
a lot of
release date, a teaser poster, and a teaser trailer.
Oh, what specifically was the release date? I don't remember if I saw
Well, there was no date. It was a month. It was August.
August? Okay. It was in August. Okay.
At least we are going to have a lot of podcasts in this year.
Yep.
To cover everything.
Yeah.
I'm glad we chose this and not some randomness.
Yeah.
But so it will premiere in August of this year. At Celebration, this was announced at Celebration. Really wasn't really posted anywhere unless maybe Twitter or something. Season 1 will have 12 episodes.
Oh, I did not see it. 12 episodes?
Season 2 will have 12 episodes.
Wait, season 2 of what? Of
Andor.
Andor is confirmed for 2 seasons?
Yes, sir. It'll happen. It'll take place the first season will take place 5 years before Rogue One, and it will cover the first year of those 5 years, and then season 2 will cover years 2 through 4 or years 2 through 5, and will lead directly into Rogue One.
Oh man, that's an ambitious project.
Very ambitious. 24 episodes total. 12. Dude. Star Wars is doing all right, man. They know what they're doing. Uh, Kevin Feige needs to go over talk to the guys over at Lucasfilm one
Yeah,
day and just figure this shit out.
they
But
absolutely are.
something about this is that this year so far, in the year of our Lord 2022, and also a little bit last year in 2021, has been the first year that Lucas. Oh, sorry, the last recording saved. Has been the year that Lucasfilm has sought to tie together the prequels and the original trilogy on screen, and I am so happy
They're
because
doing it
there's
so
just
so
so
well
much
too.
time between the two,
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah,
it's a
absolutely.
great time to be a Star Wars fan, truly.
Yeah.
So what did you think of the trailer?
I liked it a lot. It looked like we saw one live action inside of the Gal- Galactic Senate during the time of the Empire,
Yes.
which I don't believe we've
Mhm.
ever seen before. I
Nope.
got so excited for that because like I mean, we've heard a lot, in Episode 4
Hmm.
and it's around there, like what's going on in the Galactic Senate during that time, how it's kind of how it became, like not a place of like actual power, but just
Hmm.
like a figurehead type thing where the senators were kind of just there, but the emperor was making all of the actual decisions. But it'd be really cool to see the inside of that, like all that take place, like because we
Right.
saw a lot of that during the prequels,
Uh
but
huh.
never how it would look after. So that's
What?
that's a little bit of a nerdy thing for me, but I'm really
Right.
pumped for that.
And it's interesting because like you said, it happened a lot in the prequels, and then in the sequel, and not the sequels, the original trilogy, we didn't get any political intrigue
Yeah,
outside of
no,
just Star Cities, and I think
we
we're gonna
heard
get a
about that.
lot of both, like a lot of good rebel action. We're gonna a lot of good political intrigue in the show,
Yes,
and
yes, yes.
with its 12-episode runtime, I'm so excited for what they can do, especially if
12
they're hour
episodes is
long.
great. Yeah,
This
yeah.
has a lot of potential.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh, and also it looked like maybe it was so quick, and I don't know enough about Star Wars to be able to confirm it or
uh,
not, but it almost looked like we got a look at the clones in Camino, which timeline wise that does not make sense because Camino
no,
would
because
have been
Kamino's destroyed.
gone. But like if we can see the like the live action clones between episodes 3 and 4, like what happened on Camino during that time, like
Uh huh.
live action, that would be super neat.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
how that would work unless it's like a
Flashback.
flashback scene, but it looked like from the trailer we might have that. Which just seeing all
Yeah.
this stuff live action, like it is really cool to see it animated, knowing that's canon, but to see it live action is special.
Yeah. And I want to talk about the clones in live action in a little bit.
All right,
During Obi-Wan Kenobi. We'll
yeah,
go over
yeah, yeah.
that. But the second show that was, or the second thing that was the first show that was announced, but the third thing that was announced, first new show, Skeleton Crew, an original
Yeah.
show produced by the Spider-Man director John Watts, first and second Spider-Man movies, and used to be Fantastic Four, but will star Jude Law and will be coming in 2023. Watts described it as a bunch of kids being lost in the galaxy somewhere post Return of the Jedi. He said it's a show about kids, but it's not for kids. So I'm very excited to see where it goes.
Okay,
A lot of people are speculating possibly a horror show of some sort,
interesting,
like definitely a darker kind of thing, or a show about Hondo Anaka and pirates in the Star Wars universe.
interesting.
So I'm
All
very
right,
excited for this. I like John Watts' work. I think, or at least I kind of like the Spider-Man movies, but they were good. Like I just don't like them, but they were good movies.
yeah,
So I'm very, and maybe this is why he decided to not do Fantastic Four, probably because it's like 10 years down the road. But and this is coming next year. And this is what
yeah.
we were talking about
Star
with
Wars is moving
Marvel and
fast.
Star Wars.
Yeah,
Is
Star Wars
that
is
when
doing
they
it
announce
right.
something, it's coming quickly. The only one that's
Not
not like that
Marvel.
has been Rogue Squadron, the Patty Jenkins movie.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did. And Rangers of the New Republic, which we've not heard anything more about. Which I think might have even been canceled, but whatever. So I'm excited for that. That's all we've got about it, but Jude Law also in the Star Wars universe. It'll be interesting. Lego Star Wars. Lego Star Wars Summer Vacation has been announced for August 5th.
Oh,
After the last two hilarious adventures in the galaxy far, far away, but Legos, we will see what our favorite Lego heroes will be in store this summer.
I did not know about any
I
animated
loved
stuff.
this Lego Star Wars holiday special, and I
Yeah,
loved the Lego Star Wars Halloween special.
yeah.
So I can only imagine what this is going to be. It's
Sweet
going to be
man.
great.
One thing that I've seen in terms of news and stuff about Star Wars and
Yeah.
Lego that isn't directly visual entertainment. So I don't know if you've seen anything, but they announced the
Yep.
Lego sets that would release next,
They did.
and there is Lego Obi-Wan's Starfighter, and it has him landing on Kamino, which means we get a Lego Kaminoan for I think
Oh
the
wow.
first time ever, and the
Interesting.
design looks super cool.
Oh cool.
So I am excited for that.
Yeah, I saw they'd released it, but I hadn't seen anything. I didn't see any pictures or anything. But that's cool. I like
Yep.
that. Yeah, I saw they announced a bunch of those. Nice. EA made a huge announcement, and I'm going to send you a link to this
Yeah.
afterwards, like the link to the first one. The Cal Kestis will be making his return in Jedi Survivor, the follow-up game to Jedi Fallen Order. It will arrive in 2023, and Brennan, you have to watch the cinematics
All right.
from that video game because it's a really good story,
I feel like we
and then this
mentioned
will
this
be the follow-up
before, and
story.
then I
Yeah, I
keep
have. Yeah.
forgetting to look it up.
I'll just send you the link
All
after
right,
the show,
sweet,
but it's
sweet.
really really good. And then probably gonna buy this game and play it because I watched my roommate play it and it was awesome. So the first one, and so and
That's
just
awesome.
more
Okay.
Star Wars. Like I said, it's a great time to be a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, I think this was announced Friday. Young Jedi Adventures was announced to be coming to Disney Plus and Disney Junior in 2023. And look at this, 2023 again. It takes place during the High Republic and will follow the younglings as they study their ways with the Force, the ways of the Force.
Huh.
So that'll be exciting. That'll be the first time we see the High Republic on screen, um, which is awesome.
Yeah,
Very excited for that.
yeah.
Because I mean, you guys have heard me rave about the High Republic. It is incredible. Brennan, you should read it.
I'm so pumped for any content that's episode one or
Prior.
or or earlier, just
Mm.
earlier than episode one. So
Mm.
that sounds really nice.
It's gonna be geared towards kids, but
Yeah,
either way,
yeah. I would say if it's
I'm
confirmed
excited for it.
for Disney Junior, it doesn't necessarily give me like high hopes for like deep overall plot, but
No, but it's gonna
still,
be cool.
if it adds any new characters or anything in that are
Hmm.
like neat,
Yeah.
then I would be down for that. So
Hmm. And people who've read the High Republic, if they see like their favorite characters as younglings or whatever, I think that'd be really cool.
yeah,
Because there are a bunch of really fantastic characters in the High Republic. Um, if people out there who haven't read it yet but would like to, audiobooks are wonderful for it, and the guy who does it, Mark Thompson, is phenomenal. And they do you can hear like the blaster sounds, and you can hear fight like the fighters in it. Like they do a bunch of cool sound effects. So it's very theatrical performance when they do it.
sweet.
So highly recommended. And you get those from your library, I think, or depending on what library you're at. But there was a leaked Ahsoka teaser. I don't know if you saw this from the Ahsoka
Yes,
TV show. It was about
yes.
40. The one I saw was about 45 seconds long, but it gave us a quick look at a couple shots that we have for the show already. We
Hera.
just started filming not too long ago, about maybe like a month or
Yeah,
so ago. But did you see that?
yeah. Did you? If we're thinking about the same one, it had. I think her name was Hera, right?
Yes, it had
Yep.
Hera, and then they also brought out after they showed they brought out Chopper
Yes. Yes.
to the
So
stage. Yeah,
that is incredible news, and that basically almost 100% confirms what I think just the speculation was about it before.
yeah.
Is that it picks up with the quest to find Grand Admiral Thrawn
Hmm.
and Ezra.
Hmm.
So,
It's a Rebel
woohoo!
sequel essentially.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That is amazing.
I'm so excited for that show. I don't think we got a release date or anything. I think I said I think it just started filming, but it'll probably be sometime next year.
They
Knowing Star
confirmed
Wars.
2023, but they didn't get
Okay.
any more specific because I remember they posted that like the Mandalorian is coming out February
Yep.
2023, and Ahsoka is just 2023 as of right
Yeah.
now.
There's just so
Maybe
much going on in
January.
this. There's just so much going on in the Star Wars
Yeah.
universe, and it's so great because we're getting so much content. And when they announce something, it comes within the next year.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, we've the last what 3 weeks have been
Man,
pestering Marvel about this.
yeah.
At least the last 3 episodes.
Yeah,
Star
and
Wars is doing it right.
I feel like
Doing it right.
I feel like I'm getting really spiteful towards Marvel because even though they're releasing things basically back to back to back to back, it just it grinds my gears that like they'll announce things like 5 years out.
Well, and they're doing things back to back to back to back because they had them planned already, but they're already telling us things that they have planned for the future. I'm like, okay, cool. I want that now, though.
Yeah,
But we
yeah,
can't get that now. Or like continuations of shows or something. Like, cool, I want that now.
yeah,
But you can't because you're doing all these other things. Like, you can only allocate so much money. Well,
yeah.
it's
It's
Marvel. They
because
probably
they'll
could
release
allocate
a
more.
show. They'll release a show and then it gets like great reception. They're like, oh, cool, we'll do another iteration of that series. We just have to put it on the docket after the other 100 projects we've already
Yeah.
confirmed. It's
Yeah.
like, so slow down, guys.
And something that's coming this year from Star Wars, and this is what I'm most excited for,
Yeah.
is Tales of the Jedi. Was announced on
Yes.
day 3 of Celebration, which is a 6-episode animated anthology that will follow prequel era Jedi's Ahsoka Tano and Count Dooku at different points in their life. It will follow them for 3 episodes each at a different point in their lives. The people at Celebration were warned that it will be a pretty dark show, and it's coming
Oh,
fall of
wow.
2022. Before this, though, I also recommend reading the books Ahsoka and Dooku Jedi Lost because they'll probably be included in this
It
at some point. But
looks
oh my god, I'm
phenomenal.
so excited.
I'm so excited for Dooku. I've always loved his
Dooku.
backstory. That was the Star Wars book I read a little bit of.
Yeah,
Thank you,
16 pages.
thank you for letting me borrow that for like 4 months.
Yeah.
Uh,
I should just get it on an Audible and let you like borrow my Audible account.
oh yeah,
That's what I should do.
that would also work
That would work. But
because
because that's what
I
it originally is. It's an audio drama.
yeah yeah yeah
So it's got a full cast and everything.
because I've always loved his character and I want to learn more about his backstory and I really liked what I saw in the book, but getting to see that animated in the Clone Wars style, especially because like I don't remember if it was it was just a leaked like the leaked trailer. I went and like watched
Yeah,
that
me too.
and
Yeah,
it looks so good. I
so good.
am pumped for
I'm
that.
so excited. Baby Ahsoka is gonna be. We're gonna see her origins. We're
Yeah,
gonna see her a little like during like some of her training, like
it
post. I
looks
think the
looks like an
movie.
episode out of the Clone Wars, which was
Yeah,
nice because
I think
the Clone
it's
Wars
like
was phenomenal.
I think it's post the movie, but before the series, the Clone Wars movie before the series.
Oh,
I think that's where it takes place because like it's like at the very beginning of her training. It
interesting.
looked like, where she was getting shot out by the clones, and then Dooku with when he was a Jedi
With
with Qui
non-white
Gon
hair.
as his
Yeah,
Padawan.
yeah,
Uh,
with non-white hair.
yeah,
That's
and
great.
yeah, and I just finished reading Master and Apprentice, where there's some flashbacks to Qui Gon with Dooku, and we're gonna see we might see Rail
Oh,
Avaros, not Rail Avaros, yeah, Rail Avaros for the first time, who is a pivotal character in Count Dooku's life. It's I'm so excited for this. It's not even funny, especially as a fan of the books.
yeah, yeah. This series also has me the most excited out of all of the Star Wars announcements. Like I saw that
And
and I
we're
was
getting
like,
it this year.
oh, yeah, right, right.
That's what blows my mind. It's just great. It's a short series, which I don't mind
Yeah,
because of how much we have of the Clone Wars already. But it's a short series, and we're getting it this year, and they
yeah.
announced it this year.
The
Like,
fact
how did they keep this quiet?
that they announced it and now it is happening like
Like, how did they keep this under
not even
wraps?
6 months from now. It's like
August
if
or
Marvel
something.
ever did this, Marvel fans would lose their minds because Marvel has never done anything anywhere close to this.
No, but oh man, like the closest we're getting is I think Echo, and that comes out next year because
Yeah,
they announced it
yeah,
earlier this year, and then they got it next or like late last year, and we're getting it next year.
yeah.
But oh man, I'm so excited for this, and I'm gonna probably I have to reread so many books. I'm probably gonna reread Dooku and probably not Master Apprentice because I just reread it because I just read it. And I'm probably gonna reread Dooku and then Ahsoka as well, which I just
Sweet.
also read. But
Or you can get the audiobook off of Audible.
well, that's how I'm gonna do it.
Ah,
I did the Ahsoka book on audiobook because it was at the library
sweet.
and I read it in a day. So
Hey, that's awesome.
anyway, I'm so excited for that show. It's not even funny. But
Yes.
we also got another trailer today. I don't know if you saw this for the Bad Batch season
Yes.
2,
Yep. I did
and
see
that
that.
is also coming later this year.
That one also looked great. We saw more of Inside the Galactic Senate in that
Yep.
trailer as well. So that was
Uh-huh.
awesome for me. A fan of the Star Wars politics. Almost call it the Marvel politics. Marvel politics are just our politics, but
But we're superheroes sometimes.
less upsetting because they live in a scientific utopia.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I saw that. I was at the bar and I was like, oh my god,
Mhm.
Bad Batch. So I haven't like heard it. I've watched it, but I haven't heard the
Yeah,
trailer. So I'm
Star
gonna
Wars
watch it afterwards.
politics
But I'm
are
so
awesome,
excited.
so we can get more of that with the Senate, and then it looks just they're doing a lot more traveling. Uh,
Uh huh.
Omega looks more like an adventurer now, which
Yeah,
is
and I
cool.
wonder if this takes place right after season one. It
Yeah.
looks like it, but I don't know.
Oh, also, someone said in the trailer they saw Commander Cody, I believe, which I was like,
Oh,
that's cool. I rewatched it. I could not spot him, but
right.
I refuse to watch it on anything other than just one time speed. So maybe if I slowed it down, I could see him. But if
But
he's in it, that would be really interesting because I don't know what
well,
happened to him.
well, that becomes an interesting plot point for villains. Is the former clones that they would have been
Yeah,
good guys.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I think that's where Bad Batch has a lot of potential. That I don't think it quite met last time. Like it was really good. I actually ended up enjoying the Bad Batch a lot more than I think a lot of other people did.
Oh yeah,
But this season's gonna be really good.
yeah.
I
I
think there's
am
gonna be,
looking
and then there'll
forward
be
to
some
it.
of that political intrigue that made the prequels so good and the
Hmm.
Clone Wars so good. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm excited for this season of that as well. And again, coming this year,
yeah.
they animated a whole
Right?
damn show in a year. I mean, it was probably longer than that, but
Yeah, they're just
yeah.
doing great. They're doing great
Um,
here.
Spring of 2023. I don't know if you saw this. We're gonna get Volume 2 of Visions,
Yeah, I
the
did see
anime
that.
show, which I loved
I'm
that. I loved
I'm
the
pumped
anime
for
show. It was so
that.
good. Did you ever end up finishing those?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
Um.
Um,
Yeah, because
I enjoyed those.
I watched all of them with Lauren, who absolutely loved them as well.
That's right.
When I saw the news that it had been renewed for season two, I
Mm-hmm.
sent that to her on Twitter immediately. She
Uh,
never checks Twitter, so she'll probably find that out like 3 months from now.
or you'll
Uh,
tell her because you live with her.
nah, I'll just wait till she finds it out.
Just let it organic happen
Oh,
organically.
I actually don't know if I had mentioned it on this podcast here, but her favorite character by far is Ahsoka. So I
Oh,
absolutely,
she's gonna be exciting
yeah,
for this next
I
year's Star
absolutely
Wars.
know that she will love the tales of the Jedi.
Uh huh.
But we watched the Book of Boba Fett, and somehow she avoided like all spoilers for that with
Yeah.
Grogu and Luke, whatever. But also the fact that Ahsoka was in that show. So I was like, we have to get through this
Wild.
fast. Like once we start watching it, so you don't talk to anybody about this show at all, and you just can see her in there. I absolutely love that. And
Wow.
then she did, and she was like, "Oh my god, this is fantastic! This is the best reveal of the entire show." I was
Did
like,
you
"You are welcome."
see? Did you see
Uh,
that the voice of Ahsoka from the Clone Wars, Ashley Eckstein, did an interview with Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor.
oh yeah,
Yeah, so that was the first time, and in live action that we've seen Ahsoka, or at least the voice of Ahsoka, Obi-Wan and Anakin in the same room together. I thought
sweet
that
man,
was awesome, and she seemed like the nicest person ever. The
awesome,
Ashley Eckstein, because she did an interview too, and she said that she loves everyone and that she loves that how much Ahsoka means to everyone, and she said although she's not you know the live action Ahsoka, she hopes to be like the real life Ahsoka. And
okay,
she just seems like a wonderful person, Ashley Eckstein. So, Ashley, if you
sweet.
somehow are hearing this,
Oh
shout
god,
out to you.
I yes. Hopefully, there's
Also,
nobody
how'd
of
you get
note who's
here?
watching our podcast because that would give me way too much stress. Uh,
Also,
um,
how'd you get here?
yeah, yeah.
I
How
don't
did you find
understand.
out about us?
How
Uh,
are you 50 minutes into this podcast? Why?
yes.
Uh,
If somehow you're watching
uh,
this, remember to smash the like button down there. Uh, but yeah, this is truly a great time for fans of the character of just of Ahsoka because like
uh-huh.
when the original Clone Wars movie came out, who could have predicted that that random character they just added for the Clone Wars were turned into such a
An important
powerful, like
pivotal yeah.
yeah, like staple for like right now all of the live action shows they're kind of like not just live action, just all the shows are kind of starting to revolve around this one arc in like some way.
Yeah.
That's just so cool.
Well, and
That's so
in
cool.
her original, she was not warmly received at first. People did
Yeah,
not like her at first,
which
but
is
now she's become this such a Star Wars icon. Like she's up there with the Luke Skywalkers. I
yeah,
mean,
and it kind of is understandable because I watched the original Clone Wars movie like
it's
yesterday
not
because
a good movie.
I had a friend who hadn't seen it, and she was
It's
kind of
not a good
annoying
movie.
like the entire movie. She was really obnoxious.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's not a good movie either.
yeah,
They definitely had a lot to build on. That
yes,
in the first season were great, but
yeah.
it ended. The season 7, that last arc,
Oh yeah,
perfection.
it was so weird to see the animation style too in the Clone Wars movie because like knowing how far it evolves, you're like this is bad.
I
Kept
mean,
zooming
yeah,
on
if you
people's
go back
faces.
and
I was like, I would have not zoomed in on anyone's face. I would just stayed as far zoomed out as possible. When you get zoomed in, you're like, wow, this animation style is, ooh boy.
yeah,
Um,
it's tricky, but
yeah, yeah.
that's all on Star Wars news. At least
That's
unless
all.
anything's been announced
Wow.
right now.
Um,
Let me look real quick, see if anything's been announced. Oh, oh nope, never mind. That was just Tamira Morrison. Oh, next, there's gonna be a Star Wars celebration in Europe next year.
oh,
April 7th
cool,
through April 10th at the Excel Center.
sweet.
And that's the only thing. So, maybe we'll go to that, but probably not because
On
we don't have
to
money.
on to Kenobi? Question mark.
On to Kenobi. Okay.
Sweet. Oh,
So I woke up at 3:45 to watch this,
nice.
but only because the car alarm next door was going off,
All right.
and it didn't. It kept going off for 10 minutes. So I was up. I was like, might as well watch Kenobi.
Might as well.
So initial thoughts on the first 2 episodes.
Okay. First, I do have to say, even though it's kind of like a odd type start, is that not only did Kenobi release on Friday, but Stranger Things season 4 of the first part
Yes,
released on Friday as well. So
I don't watch Stranger Things, so that did not affect my life.
yes, I do kind of, however, and I watched the first episode of that first because I had a friend who was over here, and we decided to just
Okay,
watch
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
first episode of that. And it starts with a message, and the message on that is, "Hey,
Yes, yes, I did hear about this.
yeah, we filmed it a while ago. So, but now with releasing, it's releasing after the tragic event that happened in Texas. So just
Yep.
we want to give this like warning that something along similar lines or that can be associated with that happens in this show too. So watch with discretion. I was like, oh, and I was expecting something like a lot worse than what happened in like the first episode. The first episode, for the most part, didn't have anything bad. I was kind of on the edge of my seat the whole time, but it was fine. But anyway, after that first episode, we switched to Kenobi, right?
Yeah,
And
I saw someone talk about this that they should have had a
just
similar
yeah, because just
message
the
at the beginning.
fact that it started off focusing on younglings training and then the
During
clones
Order
this
66.
yeah, I was like, oh my god, that is just I did not I was just like it's just the choice that was made there. I'm like, that is such an insane
I
just like
didn't. Yeah.
coincidence. Obviously it was not planned, obviously it was not
No.
intentional,
No.
obviously whatever, but I was like out of the two shows the disclaimer definitely should have been on this one instead. It's the fact that
And
it
I
focused on the
didn't.
kids for so long.
And look, here's the thing. I probably should have maybe, but again, it was 3 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning. I didn't even think about it until I saw a video. I was like, oh yeah, maybe they should have had that
Yeah.
disclaimer.
And I probably would not have thought about it either, except for that I just watched the Stranger Things episode and just had that like disclaimer in mind. And then
Yeah.
I saw that, and as soon as they burst in with, I was like, okay. But besides that one just like abrupt start,
But
Konami
okay,
was
before
phenomenal.
they even
Yeah.
did that, though, they had a recap of the original, the prequel
Oh
trilogy,
yeah, yeah.
which
That was
I
cool.
mean, way to bring everyone to tears in the first 10 seconds
Yeah.
of the fucking
Right.
show.
Right.
And then they went, and then they
That was
ordered
a great.
66 again.
That was a great like recap. Talking about Star Wars, topping Marvel and all that with like the
Oh yeah,
Marvel Legends show where they try to do recaps, theirs are not great. I've stopped watching them, but the
I forgot about them,
6
to be
I
honest.
did watch were awful.
Yeah, I
And
forgot about
Star
them,
Wars
to be
did
honest.
theirs so well. That was great.
Yeah. And then they threw us into Order 66 again. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Uh,
Which I do like seeing that as like a tie-in focal point between all the shows. That
but because it is, it's kind of an important event.
it's just like
Unfortunately.
it's just like the snap in Marvel and
Yeah.
the blip, seeing that synced up and shows it really gives you an understanding. So I really did like seeing that as like the context of the tie-in, but also rough
Yeah, it
choice
was
with the kids.
poorly timed, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And again, they didn't know that at the
No,
time.
no.
And there probably should have been a warning because, but but real quick theory on that: those kids escaped and became the Inquisitors. That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yeah, like you might be right because I believe in episode 1 or 2, or maybe I saw it somewhere else, not in the episodes, but they mentioned that like a lot of the Inquisitors were like old
Jedi
Jedi younglings who just became Inquisitors instead.
to
Which I
stay
mean,
alive.
I
Yeah,
mean, I mean that's rough for the kids too.
yeah, I know. And then we're following Kenobi, and we see young Luke, but this show took a turn in a direction I don't think many people saw, and that this series is going to focus on young Leia and
Yeah,
Obi-Wan and not young Luke and Obi-Wan. At least the first 2 episodes did.
which
I
was a
love it.
really which was
And
a really bold choice for them.
yes, and young Leia, whoever they casted, I don't know her name. She is perfect as Leia. Carrie Fisher would be so proud. She was phenomenal. She she encapsulated Leia the way I've read Leia and the way that Leia's
Yeah.
been portrayed on screen beautifully. And a lot of people did not like it, and mostly they're the fanboys. They also didn't like Riva, and I can tell them to shove it in their ass because I do not care what your opinion is.
With like Princess Leia Young, or like I call her baby Princess Leia to go along with the whole like baby Yoda uh
I love it.
type and like all of that.
People were
Um,
calling her Little Leia too. Yeah.
I have no idea how she was like the books here. My only note on her is she is super like annoying. I'm not saying that's like a bad thing at all, but oh my god, she is like so annoying.
Yeah.
That probably is her character, and like she does it well, but
What it's she's I mean she like you could see her growing up and telling Han Solo to get in the shoot flyboy. I
oh
mean,
yes, oh
like
yes,
yeah.
oh yes, absolutely. My one thing about this show is like I don't know because I don't remember how things were said in episode 4, but like I maybe want to go back and rewatch episode 4 because
Yeah.
did she know Kenobi like that well in like the interactions that like they had? Because like here she's getting to know him well. She knows that like he's a Jedi. They're doing all kind of cool stuff together. Does that break the logic of episode 4 or not?
Okay, so the prequels broke the logic as of episode 4 because remember also says I don't recall owning a droid, and he did own a droid R4.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
mean,
but like that
there's no.
he could be lying. You could almost say
Yeah, you're right.
that.
But so no, I don't think so because she was so little. Like it may have just not even occurred to
But
her.
I mean, she's like 10 years old, which is still
But do you
like,
remember things from when you were 10? I don't remember things when I was 17. So
I
maybe
mean,
that's just a me issue.
but like if I met like a superhero, basically like the equivalent of like a superhero, I would kind of remember that, right?
Maybe I wouldn't.
Especially when you're calling him for like help.
Maybe I don't.
I don't know. I I'm
Well,
just
I don't
going
know.
to
Star
and
Wars
like
breaks the
rewatch
logic a lot.
to like
So
see all the dialogue. I mean, sources kept up. Like I still cannot get over the fact, and like I definitely will rewatch the Clone Wars at some point because I always just assumed that it
so
happened.
long.
But apparently, the fact that Anakin and General Grievous never met once during the Clone Wars,
Never.
just so the line he says at Episode 3, where like he's talking to General Grievous and he's like, "Oh, you're taller than I expected," just so that line would make sense, they had him never meet Grievous in the Clone Wars. Or like, you're shorter than I
Yeah.
expected. I don't remember what the line was. That's so funny to me that they had to make two of the biggest characters in the Clone Wars not meet the entire Clone Wars just to explain
Yeah.
that one line. That's
Well,
so funny.
and that's Dave Filoni for you. I mean, he'll pay attention to those details. So
Yeah.
I don't know how he'll like solve the fact that they
Yeah.
knew each other before.
Obviously, there's still a lot of the series left to go
We have
here.
4 more episodes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're like a third of the way through already, so there's not like that
Again.
much left. But still, I am so far liking this series a lot. The one big thing that's kind of that I cannot get over, and maybe you can help explain this in my mind, but just the
I
fact
think I know where you're going with this.
that the third sister had this really stupid, elaborate plan like to kidnap Leia to get Kenobi out of hiding. Like, that plan at its core should not have worked, and the fact that it did, that drives me crazy.
Yeah, you think Obi-Wan would be smarter, but you also think,
But like,
and they said this a lot, that he's not the Jedi he was.
yeah, no, but just the fact that like the third sister had Leia kidnapped because she just assumed that Bail Organa would have contact with Kenobi and get him to find his daughter. And then Bail Organa did, but only because Leia was the daughter of Anakin, and that's the only reason that like he said. And the third sister did not know that motivation would be there at all. It's like, why did you assume all of these things that are kind of big jumps, and then why were you completely right? That's what's bugged me about this whole thing.
So I think in that sense, I think, and I think we'll learn this later on. But people are speculating that the third sister knew Obi-Wan when she was a youngling, and so he would have seen him with Bail Organa, and obviously she doesn't know who Leia actually is.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, if we steal this kid, they knew each other once. So if we steal his kid, he'll go find, at least probably it'll be Obi-Wan, or at least a Jedi or something, but most likely Obi-Wan to come get the kid.
But how would
Logically,
she assume?
to me, I think that makes sense.
But like, that depends on Bail Organa still having contact with Kenobi after 10 years of him being in hiding. Why would she assume Bail Organa would still have contact with him? Because I mean, they were friends, but they were like work friends, as far as I know. Like, I mean, obviously they were actually they were obviously more than that, but just in context of anyone who's reviewing them from the outside, they would only be work friends.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, technically, you could say the same thing about Anakin and Obi-Wan. I mean, not Anakin and Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan and Padme.
Yeah,
and he did that thing for Padme, even though he didn't. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what I'm trying to get out there. Maybe not.
Yeah, it seems like just such a large leap of logic for the third sister to make, and then it like works.
It makes sense to me. I don't know. Maybe I just don't want to think about it too much.
Yeah, and there's a lot to explain. The other big thing, and this is probably where you thought I was going when I started saying there's a thing that bothered me, but the fact that Disney confirmed that this Grand Inquisitor is the Grand Inquisitor from Rebels, which takes place after this.
I thought you'd go with either.
Oh no, you weren't.
No, so he's gonna survive. He has to.
But he was stabbed. He was stabbed through the chest with a lightsaber, and I was like, okay, that's not what I was expecting. What?
He was stabbed through the stomach, which is why I think he's gonna live.
I mean,
fucking Anakin got burned.
Yeah,
like he's literally a potato chip at this point with a bodysuit on.
It just seemed like
he'll survive.
It seemed such an odd. I was like, okay, well, and I'm pretty sure the reason that they may have done that.
Control. If it had been other people making the show, I'd be a little worried. But Dave Filoni made this and Rebels. He knows what he's doing mostly.
Yeah, and I honestly think the main reason that they did this was to get the Grand Inquisitor out of commission for the rest of the show, so the third sister can really be the big villain, and they don't have to worry about how to, because the Grand Inquisitor would obviously be the one in charge, but now if he's removed, then that should work.
He
But
does look terrible though. The
that
Grand
just seemed
Inquisitor.
abrupt. I mean, I think he looks really cool as is, but just compared to how he looked in
Okay, yeah.
Rebels,
Comparatively, he doesn't look great.
the head is just completely wrong.
It's so wrong.
Also, you are frozen on my screen. Am I frozen on yours, or am I moving still?
No, you're moving.
Okay, cool.
It doesn't matter what I am on your screen because I'm moving on my screen. So who cares?
Yeah.
Because I'll get it no matter what.
Yeah.
I'll be moving in mine regardless.
I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't frozen on yours because you were frozen on mine.
Am I still frozen?
You are unfrozen now.
Okay. Anyway, I thought you were gonna ask, or I thought you were gonna say what did make sense was, how does she know who Darth Vader is? And a lot of people had that question. How
I
does the
just
third sister know who Darth Vader is?
see. I just assumed because she mentioned she spent so much time
With
pouring over all of the archives. She figured
oh yeah,
it out because most people wouldn't
yeah,
have access to the archives or the time to just look through all of them.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. That's true. Okay, that's fair. I
yeah,
mean, I just kind of went with it too. I'm like, oh, she probably just found out somehow.
yeah. I thought that what the weirdest part was is that she referred to him as Anakin Skywalker. She must have only done that to get underneath his skin because there's
Oh,
no
for
other
sure.
point in referring to him as Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah. And then the end scene of that, it's the second episode, was hit with the force connection between Obi-Wan and Anakin,
Yeah, which
which
we actually
was
got to see Vader. This was a
fucking
lot.
wild.
This was a lot earlier than I thought we would see Vader. So that was cool. We got to see
Yes,
him outside of his suit, which I don't think we've seen
in the
since
Bacta tank, yeah.
a while. We saw it once in episode 5, I think. Maybe I'm
Yeah,
mistaken.
his thing was his helmet
Yeah.
was lowered on, but
Yep.
very briefly, and then obviously in episode 6.
Yeah.
But so yeah, uh, it is gonna be a wild show.
Kenobi's been great. I would like to say a
I
quick
didn't like the runtime of the
rest in
second episode though.
what?
I don't like the runtime of the second episode though. I thought it was too short. I
No,
mean, it worked with the
I
first episode being
liked
long,
it. Yeah.
like so it was almost kind of like a mini movie.
Yeah. I mean,
But
there's almost this desire to make all the episodes super long. Like with Stranger Things, I don't know if you've seen how long the episodes are for
2 hours
Stranger Things.
finale, yeah.
Yeah, finale is almost 2 hours, but like each episode is like over an hour. The shortest episode of like the
Jeez,
whole season is, I think, an hour and like 9 minutes or something like that.
jeez.
So like I'm fine with watching it, now. But if I ever wanted to go back and rewatch it, it's gonna take so much
It's
time.
a chore, yeah.
So I do like, the desire to not make all of the episodes a, m-
Right.
a million hours long. So with
First out, but
Kenobi, the balance so far it struck up, I think works. Like the pacing is good. Seeing the fake Jedi dude on the planet was hilarious.
that was funny. It was weird, but it
Um,
was funny.
seeing the actual Jedi guy in episode 1 get killed, rest in
That
peace to
was
him.
I. They should have had a trigger warning for that too. Like
Oh
Jesus
god.
Christ. Like they just straight up strung him up there.
Yeah. They're
Like they
not
are not
pulling their
holding back on this
their
show.
punches. Yeah, I do like how most of the Grand Inquisitors are characterized. How they're characterized as like actual like inquisitive here, and not like super brutal like the third sister. Anytime she's kind of out of line, they're like chill out.
Yeah, well,
Where
yeah. She's even like, all right, we're evil, but you're too fucking evil.
yeah, they're like we're restrained. We like have like a job here. We're not like these rogue agents.
Well,
They're
and I
like
like that contrast a lot.
yeah, like they're very much not Sith. Like they have lightsabers, they have some force powers, but they're not Sith. They are
Did you notice the Sith eyes for the
enforcers.
Grand Inquisitor?
Yeah.
I thought that was an interesting touch. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, he had that in the show too, but
Yeah. It was just neat to see. And like so like I like because at first I was like, how will this be a satisfying story? Because you can't do anything with Vader, you can't do anything with the Grand Inquisitor. You can't bring Maul in. All these stories are resolved off screen, but making it against the third sister, I think, works extremely well.
yeah, I agree. Um, I wonder, and I don't. I just this thought just occurred to me, but there's a lost Clone Wars arc that got turned into a novel that had Quinlan Voss and Um, I just had her name on the top of my head. She's bald. She was Dooku's uh Ventress. Asajj Ventress.
Saj Ventress. Yep.
Yeah. When they had like an arc together. It was supposed to be an episode of the Clone Wars, but ended or an arc of the Clone Wars, but ended up being a novel instead. And it makes me wonder if Ventress, and spoiler alert for this book, if Ventress doesn't die, if she becomes an Inquisitor.
I thought Ventress had died in the Clone Wars.
No, she does. I said, had she not died, does she
Oh,
become an Inquisitor?
all
I just
right,
think that's an interesting thing
all
to
right,
look at
yeah,
because I'm sure she probably wants to save her skin. That's
yeah.
that's pretty much what she did. Like that was her thing. And I'm sure she probably maybe would have hunted down. Oh man, what if the third sister had been Ventress?
That would have been neat.
That would have been interesting. I still like Riva. I think Riva's really cool.
Yeah,
What do you think of Riva? Because a lot of people don't like her, and like I said, it's the typical people who
yeah.
don't like her.
I mean, she's very like unrestrained, and like I think the contrast with her and the rest of the Inquisitors is exquisite. It
Yes.
works so well. Haven't really seen her and Kenobi interact a lot, besides the
Uh
one
huh.
little brief moment at the end of episode two. But
Uh
I
huh.
do like her so far here a lot. She seems to work in the show well.
Two more things about this particular about these two episodes so far, or in the show in general. I don't remember what the second thing is, but I can remember what the first thing
All
is.
right.
It'll come to me eventually. But there's a picture they did like this magazine shoot for Variety, and there was this picture of the third sister and Darth Vader together, and I saw someone liken the relationship that we could see between Vader and the third sister to Anakin and Ahsoka, but
Oh,
Sith. I mean, Ahsoka took on a lot of what Anakin was. Like she
yeah,
became almost not like Anakin Jr., but like she was a lot like Anakin,
yeah,
in that she didn't necessarily believe in the Jedi Order, and that she um didn't necessarily do things the quote unquote right way, and Anakin was the same way, and and this is just characterization from the novels, the books and stuff, the novels, the comics, stuff like that. But Vader, and we see it in episode 4 too. Vader is ruthless. Vader does not do things that Palpatine tells him to do. And Vader is just he will hunt people down,
yeah,
and you see a lot of that in Riva.
yeah.
So I just thought that's an interesting compare and contrast kind of thing that that could be there.
That's
Um,
interesting.
I like that a
I don't
lot
know.
actually. I think it adds to Riva's character a little bit.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Vader and Reva would interact because I mean,
Yeah,
she's just brutal.
yeah,
Which I mean, because like the Inquisitors as a whole, they aren't supposed to be like that. Like that is how
right,
a Sith is.
right,
So I'm not sure if Vader would kind of see her as being out of line and not like
uh
her
huh,
for that, or if he would see like the potential to like have her as
as a
an apprentice and like try to overthrow
right,
Palpatine, like what happened in the Star Killer arc.
yeah, yeah. And then I remember the second thing. The second thing is that, and this is a lot of non-Star Wars fans, like more like movie people, were talking about this. I saw some Star Wars fans talking about this. What they're doing with Obi-Wan right now is what they tried to do with Luke in the Last Jedi, but they're doing it
Oh,
better. And I don't
interesting.
necessarily agree. I think it's the same way because I love the Last Jedi,
Same.
but I can definitely see where people are coming from, and I
Yeah.
can agree with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I think they're definitely trying to do the same thing, but they're doing it a little bit better than they did with Luke because again, they have a series to do it, whereas Luke they had a movie. I
Yeah.
mean, he lasted one movie,
Hmm.
so um, you know, what do they always say? I don't remember what they always say, so it doesn't matter. But um, Star Wars repeats itself a lot,
Yeah.
and I think it works a lot of the time. But
The one thing I want to add as Kenobi is seeing the show so far is like the one thing that I wish they would have done is like aged him a bit more because I remember that one thing I remarked on in the trailer was it seemed to have aged him perfectly like halfway between each. Actually seeing it like the whole show, I feel like he looks like a bit too much like the prequel version of himself compared to like the original trilogy version. I wish they've aged him just like a bit more, just the hair
Have,
like a tad more gray or graying.
have
But
you seen Ewan McGregor at all recently?
I have
Because
not.
he aged him very well.
Yeah.
Because he still looks super young, Ewan McGregor. He also has like really spiky hair, so it's a little different. But
All right. Yeah. It
I
just
think I agree with you. They could have made it maybe made it a little bit more gray, a little bit more wrinkles, because he lives on a sand planet, for God's sakes, in a cave.
yeah, and I mean, never switch to the face because I mean, like the face, like besides the hair, the face looks great. I think in terms of
Yeah,
age, it's just like the hair. I know hair can change very quickly, but knowing that like 5 or 6 years from now in Rebels season 3, he is like the full gray hair and look and everything in episode 4. We see that.
right.
It's just I feel like they could have
7 years.
changed him a bit more.
I mean, it doesn't matter. It's not that big a
Although,
difference, but
although I was actually talking with a friend and we were talking about the same hair thing, and then I don't remember which one of us said it, but yeah, we were like, actually, in episode 2, how he just found about like about Anakin, that could be a huge point of stress, so much that like all of his hair turns gray in the next couple of episodes, just dealing with the realization that Anakin is alive, which would honestly be so funny.
that'd be really funny.
Because
Anyway,
I mean, Obi-Wan,
but
as soon as he found out that news, he did not look like he was taking it well, for
no,
obvious
no,
reasons.
not at all. Um, but I'm very excited for the rest of the show. And I mean, I wasn't super excited about the show in the first place. Probably not on my top, like not my top 2 or 3 things I was excited for in Star Wars. Most of them are on that shelf over there. I haven't gotten to yet. But now I'm like really excited for this. Not quite as excited as the Tales of the Jedi show, but I'm excited to see what
Oh,
happens moving forward.
Oh, and also one thing I'm looking forward to in the next 4 episodes is I absolutely love Qui-Gon Jinn. I've mentioned it before. I'll continue to
Yes.
mention it. He keeps trying to like reach out to his master, and who we know is Qui-Gon Jinn,
Right.
and I'm pretty sure you can correct me if I'm wrong because you obviously know more about Star Wars off screen than I do. But I'm
A
pretty
little.
sure the one who kind of found the Force Ghost ability and passed it on was Qui-Gon Jinn. So
Yep.
it is very likely in my mind we're going to see Qui-Gon Jinn as a Force Ghost at some point in
Yeah, a
this
lot of people are
series,
speculating that. Yeah.
and I would love that. So I'm
Yeah.
really looking forward to that because I would love to see more of live action Qui-Gon Jinn on screen.
Yeah, because and I believe we've seen Force Ghost Qui Gon. I remember on
Yeah, we saw him
that one
in
arc.
Clone Wars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Yoda knows how to do it
Yeah,
because
but I
he
think
was trained by. Well, he went through that thing in that arc in season 6. And I believe Qui Gon led him to do that,
yeah,
if I remember correctly.
I'm pretty sure Qui-Gon Jinn taught Yoda somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like he told him to go to those trials, and
Yeah.
then that's where he learned it or something.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. That's complicated. That arc was weird and complicated, but I loved it. And Mark Hamill is 2 characters in Star Wars. Actually, he's all of them, but you
Yeah.
know what I mean.
Yes, it is.
But
Yeah. So far I'm
man, I'm
liking this
excited to see what
show
this show does.
a lot. Yeah. It isn't
I need to
going
read more Star Wars books because Jesus, I'm behind.
yeah, cuz like so far everything in the plot with Kenobi's actions makes sense. They make perfect sense. And like
Yeah,
the pacing here is great. The one thing that bugs me about the plot is just that the third sister had this super stupid plan that somehow worked out perfectly for her.
a
And
lot of
so
people were,
quick too.
and a lot of people were on about the running scene, the chase scene with Leia, little Leia. Like,
They were
guys,
on and
it's a
how.
child.
Yeah.
Like they're not gonna. I mean, they could have done that, or they could have literally just taken her. They had to fill some time. I guess
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
didn't think about it too much. I thought it was weird too, but
The one thing I thought is like I thought
not that big a
Kenobi could
deal.
have tried to explain it better to her, like what was going on, but also he hasn't really interacted with a child in like 10 years, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and Uncle Owen, he was a beast. He does not like Obi-Wan.
Uncle Owen was great. It's really great to see more of him
Fantastic.
because we haven't really seen any of that character hardly at all besides episode 4.
And episode 2, briefly.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
But I mean, his appearances have been brief. I think this is the most he's ever spoken on TV.
Yeah,
And the way
he's
he
doing a
held
great
his
job.
composure when he was being interrogated by Reva was
Right,
phenomenal.
because it's so funny because he had the information because she just sensed that he had information about a Jedi. Little did she know it was not the one that they were actively chasing; it's the one that she wanted.
Wanted, yeah.
The one thing that bugs me also just ab- about the whole plot is like the reason that like the third sister kidnapped Leia was to try to get Bail Organa to reach out to Kenobi, and he did over transmission at first, but then he physically came to Tatooine to get him. So if she is smart and is like, okay, let me like see what he did after we kidnapped his daughter and sees like, hey, he traveled to Tatooine, that could give away Kenobi's
Well,
hiding
okay,
space
you're
in a
right.
major way.
You're right, but remember, she wasn't allowed to even be doing any of that, so she had to keep up that she wasn't doing that
Yeah,
at the moment. That's the only. I'm sure that's the only reason why she didn't do
yeah,
that.
but
I mean,
absolutely,
logically, that would make sense.
absolutely. If like she like looks back now, she'll see that unless he did it like super stealthily. I just like
Yeah.
that was a big risk.
Yeah, of
Uh,
course, of course.
so but we'll see. So far, I'm liking this a lot. Besides those
Me too.
small
Well,
plot critiques here, but I mean, we'll see how the series continues. So far, again, it's been doing great.
yeah,
It'll be nice to get to see these every Friday. And then after it ends, because like, wait, hold, oh, not even after it ends.